Hello, my name is Kainson Mononye. Today we are going to discuss how to create a database in MS SQL Server and MS Access. One thing I want you to know is that databases are very simple things to create and even to understand. The first tutorial will be we are going to use Microsoft Access to create a database in very short time. Believe you me, it's going to be really very easy. The three concepts I want you to understand are: the first one is primary key, foreign key, and relationship. So in this demo we are going to create these two tables, and then we are going to create these two tables, okay, in Microsoft Access, and then we create a query using this. So what I'm going to teach you first, how to combine this first name and the last name into one column, okay, and that you will do in a query. Then you also do the same combination here, and you're also going to learn how to combine two tables. Remember, we are going to create two tables, and this the third one you see here is a query or a view. Alright, let's take one or two definitions before we start. First, a primary key is a field. A field is nothing but a column. So here you have field of first name, field of page number, field of last name, field of email. So a field is a column. So a primary key is a field that uniquely identifies a particular record. Okay. Foreign key is a key. Okay, sorry, this is foreign key is a key in a table. This is in a key in a table that relates to a primary key in another table. Relationship defines an interaction between two tables. So let's take a look at what foreign key is all about. So now if you look at the enrollment query, you find out that we have faculty here. Take note that faculty exists in another table, in faculties table, and then we have student first name, last name, and email exists in the student table. So it means that for us to relate these two tables together, we are going to somehow move this faculty ID to become parts of this table. So this faculty ID is a primary key in the faculties table, but when you move it to the students table, it becomes a foreign key in the students table. The reason is because there cannot be two primary keys in a table. Students table already has a primary key of page number, so if we move the faculty's ID field to students table, it becomes a foreign key there, and it's used to relate the two tables. So let's go and use Microsoft Access to do this. Let's create these two tables, and then we now create a relationship between them, and then go ahead to create a query in Microsoft Access, after which we'll do the same thing in SQL Server. I'm using Office 2010. This demonstration will also work in Office 2013, 2017 or 2016. So go ahead to open Microsoft Access from all programs, Microsoft Office, then Microsoft Access. So it opens like this. What you are going to do is simply to come to this place under file name, and you give your file a name. I'd like to call it school DB. Sometimes it's necessary to use the DB as a postfix to the names of your databases. So name it school DB, and then click create. This is a window. Never mind about all the plenty of tools everywhere. It's going to be really easy. So if it opens this way, you see table 1. Okay, under tables you see table 1. So the first thing we are going to do, we are going to change the name to students. Remember, we have the students, so let's change the name to students. So what you do, just right click and then say go to design view. Okay, say the procedure, right click on it and go to design view. So I would like to call it students. Just give it a name, students. Okay, if you did this correctly, this is what you will see. So what we are going to do, we are going to create the three sorry, let me expand this. Okay, we are going to create these 3 rows and columns. So we have reg number, first name, last name and email. So reg no, okay, change it to text. That is what it should be. Remove the auto number from there. Then enter the first one, first name is also text, last name also text, and then email also text. If you look at this place, you see a little key that appears there. So that tells you that this is the primary key. So if you click on this key here, it comes back. If you click on it, it goes. But automatically Access adds the first field as a primary key. So what we are defining here is the columns, not the rows. Take note. This is the columns of the table we are going to create. Alright, so go ahead to click on save. We've created the first table, students. Alright, let's now open it and add data inside. You can go ahead to right click again here on this table you've created and click on open. If you click on open, it opens in the datasheet view. In the datasheet view, that is what this is called. Another way you can get to the datasheet view is to come to design and click on datasheets view. So let's add the 3 students that we are working with. S01, S01 Saffron in Melody saf@yahoo.com. So S01, just take your time to follow this tutorial and you find out that databases are very simple. Saffron, you can use any name you feel like. And saf@yahoo.com. S02, let's use oli@yahoo.com, and S03, and let's use Yasmin. Okay, let's use Yuba. No, let me use something different. Let me use a different name altogether. Okay, so if you want, you can pause the video and make sure you follow through at yahoo.com. So now I've added data, so we have our tables created. So I would like to give you this brief assignment. Try to follow the same procedure and create the second table for faculty. So take your time to do it while I wait for you. Okay, you can pause the video and take your time to do it. Alright, hoping you got it right. Let's continue. Let me go ahead to create the second table. So you can right click on the student, the name of the table, and click close. That is fine. It takes a while. Yes, I want to save. So the next thing we are going to do is to create a second table. So to do that, just go to create the Create tab here and then choose Table. The next thing you are going to do is right click on the table name and choose Design View. Call it Faculties. Always use plural form for your table name. So if you save it with a name, it opens in the design view. So we have faculty ID, first name, last name, and phone. So we define the fields or the columns. Faculty ID, change it to text here. Okay, first name, text, last name, also text, and phone, also text. That's fine. We can go ahead to click on the save button to save it. The next thing you are going to do, you can close, right click on the table you just created and say open. It opens in the datasheet view. So it adds a few names in the table. So let's say primary key should be the faculty ID is a primary key. So let's add F01. Let's just add, this is not a real number, F02. Again, we're using just any number. That is not the important thing. F03. Okay. Okay, let's use another name. You can make up your own names. Okay. Alright, so we've created the two tables. Go ahead to save it. Okay. If we go back to our presentation, you find out that we are saying that now we've created two tables. We want the two tables to be related. And for us to do that, we are going to add another column to the first table. That is a column that will represent the foreign key in that table. So let's go back to Assets, open the students table in design view, and then add another key, that is faculty ID. Remember, faculty ID is a primary key in the faculties table. So let's add it there so that it will serve to relate the two tables. Go ahead to save and close. So now we've created the primary keys, we've created the foreign key in the students table, and now let's go ahead to define the relationship between these two tables. These two tables are related using the foreign key. Let's open it so that it will become a bit clearer. So this foreign key here is a relationship between the two. So you can go ahead to add the foreign key, follow along and make sure you get it right. F03. Alright, so now I'm going to save. So the question now is, how do we create a query or a view to do all of this? So we are going to build this query is called a query in Assets, but in SQL Server it is a view. So we are going to create a query to be able to help us concatenate or join the first name and the last names, and also add the right faculty to the table. So what you are seeing here is actually not a table but a view. A view is just like a visual table or a combination of data from one or more tables that are displayed to the user. Alright, so let's go back. So for you to create that relationship, go ahead to click on Create tab, okay? And then look for relationship. Take time to look for relationship. Take time to look for, sorry, not relationship. Yeah, it's actually under database tools. Sorry, click on database tools. Database tools. Then you see relationships. So go ahead to select the two tables and say add. Alright, so these are our two tables. These are our two tables. The principle of relationship says drag the primary key to the foreign key. Okay? Drag the primary key on to the foreign key. Remember that this is student's table and it has this faculty ID as a foreign key. In the faculties table we have faculty ID as a primary key. So drag the primary key to the foreign key. You can go ahead to click this. This is optional. We will discuss it on a later video. So click on create and it creates this line between them. It says one is to many. Don't worry about this for now. Just go ahead to save, but make sure you get it right. Okay, and close. So these two tables are now related. So we've created the relationship between them. The next thing we are going to do now is to create our query. The query we are going to create is going to relate the two tables. The first thing is that it's going to combine the first names and the last name, and it's going to display the right faculty against the right student. Remember, we are not interested in faculty ID. Remember, we have this faculty ID as a foreign key, but a user will not like to be seeing the IDs, he would like to see the names. So we have a student and the faculty associated with it. Alright, let's go to access and do the business. So follow carefully and you understand it. Go ahead to click on create. Go ahead to click on query design. On create, go to click on query design, and this is what comes out. Just like in relationship, this is what comes out. Go ahead to select the two and say add. Alright, so this is where you need to try to focus your attention on what we are going to do. Let's take a look at what we want to do. We want to create a view or a query with this time 3 columns: reg number, student, and faculty. So go ahead to define each of the columns one after the other. So let's go to define the reg number. The reg number came from quiz table. You got it right. The reg number came from the students table. So what we are going to do, just go ahead to click on the second one, choose the students. That is where you are getting your first field from. Alright, and then choose reg number. Okay, that is field 1. That is field 1. So this represents field 1. This field represents field 2, and so on and so forth. Alright, so the second item now is the one that needs to be clear. Students, the first name and the surname is coming from the students table. So go ahead on that table. Remember, you have the second row here is tables. On that table, select the students. Now give some more room. what you are going to do, if you drop down, you see first name. Okay. Now you are going to say plus last name. Okay. Sorry. Hold on. Let's do. Let's start afresh. So what you are going to do, from the students table, sorry, okay, so we defined the reg number, which is the reg number we want. Now we want students, so choose the table that contains it, students, and we have first name and last name has to be combined. So what you simply say is first name plus last name. Okay, so it defines something like this. Expression 1, we don't need expression 1, but we are going to correct it later on. The next thing we want there is faculty. Faculty comes from the faculties table, so go ahead to make some more room. See, you can be here. So faculties table, and you have first name plus last name. Alright, so that's all. So go ahead to save it as enrollment. Save as enrollment. Okay, so that's all. You've built a database. Let's now view the enrollment and see. Close this and then go to enrollment, right click on it and say open. Okay, no problem. There's a little problem there, so let's go to resolve it. Alright. So they have students dot first name plus last name. Okay, so here we have faculties. Okay, because we are saying for the second one is coming from faculties table. So go ahead to save and close. So let's open it and see. Okay, good. Let's modify a little more. Make some room. Alright. So we have student dot first name. Also append the name of the table there. Students dots. We have faculties dot first name. Also say faculties dot last name. That's all. So go ahead to save and can just close it and then open. Alright. Alright, not too good, not too good, but so far not too bad too. You know the problem? Two problems. One, the names are joined together, no space in between. Secondly, the headings are not what we want. We want the heading here to be student and the heading here to be faculty. So let's close and then go to design view again and make this change. Make some room. Now in between the first and the last, you need to add space. So say space plus. So This single quotes encloses the amount of space you want. So just go ahead to also do the same thing, plus. Okay, so that is what we have there. Alright, so let's close and then view, open. I guess this is a little like what we want, so let's go ahead to correct the names of the caption. I will allow you to do it yourself, so take some time, pause the video and do it yourself. Okay, perfectly, I'm sure you got it. Let's do it together once again. Simply come to remove expression 1 from here and say students, and remove expression 2 and say faculty. Okay, and that is excellent. And go ahead to save and then close and then open. Alright, so this is what we want. Okay, this is exactly what we want. Alright, so having done this, let's export it back to Excel. Okay, let's open it in Excel to see. So right click on enrollment and just say exports and say Excel. It asks you the question, blah 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 blah. Okay, say okay. Okay, so it exported it. I think enrollment was exported to the desktop. Let's look for it. It's in documents. The problem. Okay, yeah, see enrollment, right? So if you export, try to make sure you know where it is. So this is exactly, give some room, what we created in Access, and we have exported it right into Excel. Please try to follow along. If possible, rewind, start afresh and go through the video. If you like my video, subscribe to my channel because I'll be producing simpler videos to help you understand databases. And join me in my next presentation, as we are now going to do this same simple procedure in Microsoft SQL Server, that is Microsoft SQL Server. My name is Kindson and I'd like to thank you very much for joining me.